Now we are on Chapter 9, Lesson 3, Graph Data. This lesson is going to be similar to the lessons prior, where we are using a coordinate grid, as you could see. We have an X and a Y, and we'll be graphing points. The difference is we don't yet see the ordered pair, which A is asking us to do. Write the ordered pairs for each point. The reason why is they're giving us a set of data or information. So here's the outdoor temperature. After 1 hour, the temperature was 61 degrees Fahrenheit. After 3 hours, the temperature rose to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. In 5 hours, the temperature rose from 71 degrees Fahrenheit. After 7 hours, the temperature rose to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And in the 9th hour, it rose to 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So this data or information is what we have to put along a coordinate grid. However, they didn't tell us the ordered pairs, but they did give us some clues. They told us that we're going to put the time in hours over here, and look at how this is the time or hours. What this means is, what is this called? This line right here? This right here is known as your x-axis. Therefore, this right here, these will be all of our x's. So the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 will be our 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, because the x-axis tells us how many times to go left and right from the origin, or the 0. Now they also gave us another statistic, or data. They told us about the temperature. The temperature here goes along upward, which makes this our y-axis. So these values right here, the 61, 65, 71, 75, and 77 are our y's. So when we're talking about an ordered pair, an ordered pair looks like x, comma, y within parentheses. So we have to write the ordered pairs for each point. Because they gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different facts, we're going to have 5 answers, 5 ordered pairs. The first one is going to be, in hour 1, the temperature was 61 degrees. So at hour 1, which is our x right here, we'll put it in our x value, and our y is 61. So if you see, our ordered pair is 1, 61. It's our x and our y, our time in hours, and our temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. To separate all of our different answers, I'm going to use a semicolon, which is a dot and a comma. So it's like almost like a comma and a dot floating above it. So this is our first answer. Our next answer will take our next x, which is 3. 3, and our y is 65. Our next one takes again the 5 and the 71. 5 is the hour, which is the x, which is along the x-axis, and the 71 is our y, which goes up and down. So 5 and 71. Oops, I forgot to give it a semicolon. I just gave it a comma. So to separate them, I'm going to give it a semicolon, which is a common dot floating above it. So we did the 1 and 61, the 3 and 65, the 5 and 71. Our next two, 7 and 75, 9 and 77. So we're taking our x and our corresponding y. Corresponding meaning the one that is, because at the 9th hour it is 77 degrees. If you notice here, we're not, within the ordered pairs, we're not putting this means 1 hour, this means 61 degrees Fahrenheit. We're just putting the numbers, just the data itself. We're labeling it over here. And you could see that over along these numbers too. We know that this is 1 hour because of the labeling. In number 2, you're going to have to do the same thing, but they're not going to tell you what to put along the x-axis and what to put along the y, nor are they going to tell you numbers. So definitely keep looking at number 1 as a template. Perhaps you're going to keep this as your x, and this is your y, so you're going to put the days here, and then the y, total number repaired, here. okay? And we'll get to that later, but I was skipping ahead. I probably shouldn't have done that. B, how would the ordered pairs be different if the outdoor temperature were recorded every hour for 4 consecutive hours? To do this one, you have to actually think about, what does the word consecutive mean? Now, consecutive is time sequence, so it's in exact order and not skipping anything. So the number right after 1 is 2. After 2 is 3. After 3 is 4. So when they're talking about 4 consecutive hours, they're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4. Because that makes something consecutive. If you notice here, the hours, it's not consecutive. It's 1, skip to 3, skip to 5, skip to 7, skip to 9. Because there's, although there's a pattern, it's going 1, 3, 5, 7, although it's a pattern every 2 hours, that doesn't make it consecutive. Consecutive means there's no skipping. So how would the ordered pairs be different if the outdoor temperature recorded every hour? Well, would the 1 change? No, the 1 would still be 61. But what would change? We would have a value for 2. Because look at how 2 is missing right here. Would 3 change? No, because in the 3rd hour, it'll still be 65 degrees. However, we will have a value for 4. What would happen if we were to have a value for 2? That would mean, look at our dots here. We have a dot for 1 and a dot for 3. But if you look here, on the second one, there's no dot. Why? Because we didn't record the temperature at that time, so this data right here is missing. You see how this is our second hour, and there's no dot along the axis too? Because they're saying that at the 2 hour mark, look at this one, there's no 2 here, so there's no value to record how hot was it. We don't know. So how would the ordered pairs be different? In between, there will always be a dot there. Let's finish graphing the rest of these. Look at how they did this one. 161, 161, 365, 365. Let's graph this one. If our x is 5, that tells us to go right 5 times. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll be along here. And then the y is 71, so we're going to go up 71 times. So we're going to go up. Here's where 70 is. And 70 is just a little bit more than 71 is just a little bit more, but it's definitely closer to 70 than 80. Remember, if you go to the middle here, you'll be at 75. If you go really close to 80, it'll be 79. So 71 is just about here. Let's graph the next one, 7 and 75. 7 is your x, so it's telling you go right 7 times. So we'll be along here. And then y is our 75, so it's saying go up 75 times. 75 is right in the middle right here. Okay, now our last point, 9 is our x, so it's saying x, right x. And y up 77 times. 77 is not quite 80, so we're not touching that line, but it's more than half because that's 75, so probably about here. So how would the ordered pairs be different? You would have a value right here. You would have a value right here. You see how there's no dot here? You would have a dot, a value right here. You would have a dot along here if we didn't skip. Because look at right now. Boom, skip. Boom, skip. Boom, skip. Boom. We're skipping things. Why? Because we didn't record anything at the 2nd hour. We didn't record information at the 4th hour. As I jumped ahead, I want you to use the same kind of premise. They didn't give as many clues because you have to come up with the numbers yourself, but definitely refer to number 1 to help you. And if you need help, we'll continue it during class tomorrow. So good luck with that.